I'd like to welcome you again to our call here today. I'm really grateful in the work that I've done that I've got folks that have offered to come forward and talk to potential students about the work I'm doing and how it might benefit you. And, so I'm grateful you're listening to this. Marilyn is one of those students who I've gotten to know over the last 3 or 4 years, and she has attended the intensive several times, and she's volunteered to just kind of share her thoughts on where she came from and her experiences with the intensive. So without really much more beyond that, I'd like to introduce you to Marilyn. And Marilyn, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, I'm glad for this opportunity. My name is Marilyn Long, and I'm a business executive who, based on a traumatic event that happened in my life, about 7 years ago, I started on an intensive spiritual quest. I was introduced to and started to go to Charles's seances, which I had never experienced before, but were of great benefit to me. So from that, I started taking some of his other classes, which I felt really dovetailed very closely with some other spiritual avenues that I had been pursuing. So what I learned from Charles just reinforced and supported my overall spiritual quest. Because spiritual issues had not been or had been far removed from my career life, I had never thought about my psychic abilities as such. That was pretty remote. Although I had figured out, one thing I'd figured out in my career, that it seemed sometimes I knew things that other people didn't seem to know. So I kind of took advantage of whatever that knowledge was, but then just shrugged it off. When Charles offered this mediumship class, I was intrigued because I remembered sort of those experiences. At the time, though, I did not think, I'd be able to do it. But after Charles assured me that I would fit in just fine, I decided to go for it. I have to admit, I was a real novice compared to many in the class. But it didn't seem to matter. I became totally involved in all the activities, and in the process was able to really get a glimpse or a greater glimpse of some of my psychic ability. And it was such a good experience for me. At some later time, I decided to take the class again, which was as fulfilling the second time as it was the first. And after the second one, we even had some of the participants gathered a few other times afterwards to do practices of what we had learned in the class Charles had taught. And it really supported what Charles had taught us, because one of the things he said, you can't develop your talent if you don't practice them. I mean, you can read all the books on the shelf, but, buy out Amazon on psychic and mediumship. But until you practice them, you're not going to get it in your soul and have that skill as a part of your tool set. So I would recommend this class to anyone that wants to discover or expand their mediumship or psychic skills. It's just an amazing opportunity, and it's in a safe environment.
Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate the recommendation. For sure, practicing is such an important part, and I focus on that a lot in my classes, and this intensive is designed to be an all-day working on your skills and getting you to the point where you feel comfortable with doing this work, and that is a huge step for people. And so I appreciate your time today, and I hope, if you're listening to this, that I'll get to meet you soon in our expanded intensive, psychic and mediumship intensive. We'd love to have you. There, and I'd like to meet you personally. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.